Hope Mercy is a non-profit, and we focus on church ministries, we focus on children, and one of the things that we do with churches is to equip and train pastors. And over the years we've been sending pastors to different schools so that they can get some Bible knowledge. And about 3 years ago we started Faith Bible School. And Faith Bible School has been a rollover. It's been a turning point to see that pastors are trained and equipped so that they can do great ministries in their churches.
36 students enrolled in Faith Bible School, 16 of them in their second year, 20 of them in their first year, and those students are eager to learn. We have more requests to be enrolled in the school than we have room for, so we've had to limit it.
We held our second graduation with Faith Bible School, and we have over about 40 pastors that have benefited through Faith Bible School.
Ebintu bingi byenazuula oluvannyuma lw'okujja wano nga nali sibimanyi. Ekimu ku byansikiriza okujja Faith Bible School kwe kwongera okumanya Bayibuli.
We expect and we pray
that
God will send revival to Uganda, and that revival will spread from Uganda to America.
The news of that has spread to other districts. We've had requests from 2 other districts to come and start a similar Bible school there, which we've thus far been unable to do. But we have students from those districts traveling long distance to be here when they're able to do so.
Nenga netaga okwongera okubangulwa okutegeera Bible School nazulanga abantu bagenda Bible School oyongera okutendekebwamu mu kumanya wao twalina okuyigizwa okw'omwoyo nga tulungamye ate bwe najja Bible School nalaba nti atefunye bingi nyongedde okwongera ku byembadde simanyi.
All of the men who are part of Faith Bible School as students are actively pastoring churches. What they learn during that week, during that first week of the month when they're in class, they go back to their villages and they teach that to the people in their churches as well.
Nagenda sina kyemanyi okugeza nga okubeera nga simanyi kusoma nga simanyi kuweza mu kanisa era Faith School ne tuyigiriza engero omusumba gy'asobola okuweereza mu kyaki nenjigiriza okolagana n'abantu kubanga nze nali sina nnyo bantu n'ekyo n'ekinsomesa ekinyambye nnyo era kakinkoledde nnyo kubanga abantu ekyo kino kwendi banjagala bampagira era wale muwamu nange.
Nze okujja mu Faith Bible School naye njagala kwekakasa kuyiga Bayibuli ng'era n'okusoma Oluganda nga sikwekakasa bulungi era kye kyampaliriza okujja neyongera okubangukako ng'ekisooka ddala okusengeka obubaka ngenda kunyimirira mu bantu njogera mu bantu enteekateeka y'ebintu by'ekkanisa puroguramu z'ekyaki engeri zirina okutambuzibwa byonna kati nyenze mbiyiga okuyita mu kusomesebwa mu Bible School.
Bible School nali nfunye endowooza nti tezigasa okusinziira ku biga bye nnawuliranga mu bamu ku basumba naye olw'okuba nali omu ku bakulembeze kwa Alliance endimu nalondebwa ne ngamba kangende ngezeeko.
2011, Pastor Bob Emmerich, my uncle, had called and asked if I might be willing to come and help with the work he was doing in Uganda. And after some prayerful consideration, decided to come. And it was really an eye-opening experience to see the needs that exist here with respect to pastors being trained and equipped to do their ministries.
Through the formation of regional alliances among pastors, Hope and Mercy Ministries has created a platform from where they are equipped to preach the gospel.
I'm standing in the Rubenge Alliance. Part of the Rubenge Alliance is the Hand of God Church. This is the building where they gather for their worship. I remember when this was built, when it was brand new, And the people in the church had painted this wall to surprise the pastor, congratulating him for his graduation from the Bible school. And they had painted this white and had written up here, Yesu Amala, which of course is translated underneath it, Jesus is enough. And that's what the congregation believed and the pastor believed, and that's what enabled them to get through their years of Bible school. Over here, this is a plaque that the church, it's their theme for the year. And it is taken from Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 1, and it says, arise and shine. That's the kind of thinking that they have here in the Hand of God Church. We could take a walk around. I want to show you the outside of the building, and we want to meet Pastor Paul Kiowa and his wife, Gracie. So I'm now walking around the outside of the Hand of God Church. I'd like to show you the building itself, and you can understand some of the difficulties where they worship and why they can use our help, why we try to support these churches and help them. This is the way that the roof is built. As you can see, some of the way that they construct their buildings here. When they build the mud walls, which we'll look at, but the plastic tarp that we're familiar with, this is the way that it looks, but the sun and the rain causes it to be very brittle and it doesn't last very long. So they put the thatch on top of it, put limbs on to hold the thatch on, but it doesn't last very long between the rains and the sun all the time on it. The walls are made from just a frame, like with bamboo and stakes. The mud that's applied to it, it doesn't last very long, and so it has to be rebuilt. You can look here and see on the side of the building how after a while it begins to fall apart. Why we like to have the opportunity to help them sometimes when they make their own bricks or are able to buy a few bricks and build it up that way, and even put a metal roof on the top of it so that it lasts a lot longer. They do wonderful ministry in these buildings. Difficult to imagine for some of us who are accustomed to much more, but they do a wonderful work. When I first met Pastor Kiowa Paul, he was starting a church underneath a huge mango tree. And that's where the people were meeting together, and they brought some children out for us, and they sang and they danced and they welcomed us to Uganda. That was 8 years ago. And here they are now, that since then they've moved from underneath that mango tree, and now they're in this building where they gather to worship. I was here on Sunday morning. Please hear this carefully. When we have challenges, before we react to them, before we become angry, before we let ourselves be discouraged, and before we give up, we should always do what David did. He inquired, he asked from the Lord, and he said, what should I do? Sharing from the Word of God with them, and the place was crowded with children sitting on the floor, on the dirt floor on the inside, a few benches that they had for some of the people, but wonderful people, wonderful ministry. I'm here with Pastor Joseph from the Philadelphia Church. I first met Pastor Joseph a number of years ago. He came to one of our Bible conferences, and I remember that he had walked miles, I think it was 7 or 8 miles that he walked to come to our conference to get some of the teaching. We were able at that time to buy him a bicycle, and I remember him dancing around the bicycle, being so excited about having that transportation. When we visited his church, it was just an old tarp wrapped around several poles stuck in the ground. And now God has blessed his ministry over these years, and behind us is the church that he now pastors, where they worship and they meet together. He chose to put it in this location because it's right in the center of the village where there's many people.
So one of the challenges associated with getting a Bible school started here is not only knowing the pastors in a region and what their needs are, but also having teachers that you can count on that are well-founded in the Word and are faithful to do the job. And so God provided in an amazing fashion 4 men who we gain tremendous respect for in their capability to teach the Word and to be faithful in their love and concern for the pastors they're teaching. And so that they've already been doing that for several years, and the response of the Students Faith Bible School has been really good.
nakula mu famire nesifuna mukisa kugenda ku ssomero kugenda wala naye ate Katonda bwe yampita mu buweereza asobodde okunsomesa ng'ayita mu ngeri eno ey'ettendekero kati ebbaluwa eziraga obuyivu n'obukugu mu kintu kyenkola nzifunye kati nyina omukisa gw'amaanyi okuweereza Katonda nga nyina obukakafu ku ekyo kyenkola.
Hope and Mercy also focuses on vulnerable children. We want to reach out to those children that need support, that need, to be encouraged into their lives. We've had a few projects that have, looked at supporting such children in vulnerable conditions.
Some of them spend the night and they spend the week here in the dorm. Others, you can hear them early in the morning, usually before it's quite light out. You hear the children on their way and they're laughing and they're singing, glad for the opportunity that's here.
There are so many children and so many young people. The challenge for the churches is to find a way to provide a good biblical foundation for those children and for those young people.
In a very conducive environment, Hope and Mercy Ministries uses Sunrise Christian School as a platform for the teachers to create a biblical foundation the children need at school.
These teachers have given themselves to training of these children. The teachers, the supervisors, the cooks, even those who take care of the grounds, take care of some of the farm animals that help to feed and provide for the children as well. They grow some of their own food, their own crops here, all of that to try to do everything they can to provide this facility and to provide this opportunity for children. It's a wonderful thing to see. And God has continued to bless because Sunrise Primary School and all those involved are committed to excellence in terms of education, but also, as we mentioned, excellence in terms of spiritual truth in the training. Not just to fill the children with knowledge, but to shape them into good, responsible, moral, and spiritual adults. That's the goal, and it's wonderful to see some of the results.
You can also call them? Yes? How you can also call them?
That's Sunrise Primary School with a soccer field, with netball, with playgrounds. They get physical exercise and physical activity as well, and the whole social part that goes along with that. It's a blessing indeed. When we come on campus, like everyone else, we're greeted by the children with real respect. It's wonderful to see how they respect their teachers, their parents, and visitors who come. It always warms the heart to see that.
I was able to bring my daughter with me on the first trip here, and it was very rewarding, especially for a young lady just in high school, to experience what life is like for folks here in this region. And very much a life-changing kind of experience for her.
Usually in the fall of each year, we bring a team from the U.S., comes here to Uganda, the Kalungu district, and we stay here on the campus at Sunrise School. But from here, some of the ministry takes place right here on the grounds, whether it's construction or sometimes working with the children at the school and even with the teachers at the school. But we also branch out and we go from here and we go to other schools around the area and we evangelize. We do child evangelism where we have teams that go specially to work with children, presenting the gospel where it's not otherwise being shared with so many students.
My wife also has come here several times and helped with children's ministries and met with the teachers and been helping in the school, and it's been a very valuable experience for everybody in our family.
If you'd like to be a part of that, we'd love to talk to you. Travel, we could talk about the travel and all the details, but we'd love to hear from you if you'd like to be part of a team trip to come here. We have good accommodations for while we're here, a little primitive perhaps in some ways, but good accommodations, comfortable, good food, safe environment. It's a wonderful place to carry out ministry for a week or 2 weeks. We'd love to have you join us if you're able to do so.
For more information, please contact us at the following address.